think it's recording, right?
It looks like it's recording.
What is up? This is the awkward side hug. Wait a second. Someone's missing. My name's Lex. That's Steven right there. So today I've been promoted to first mic. Steven has been promoted to second mic. The third mic has called off sick today. Yeah, we're here, the Awkward Side Hug podcast. Bryan called off work today, and yeah, he was sick.
The show must go on.
The show must go on. We see him later. Post on Instagram like at Disneyland.
The only reason that we're deciding to do this today, so it's Thursday. We typically record on Thursdays, and we try to release, by Sunday. So the only reason that I think I pushed for recording today is because I got a new microphone.
Yes, look at that.
And so I'm pretty excited for it. Hopefully the sound quality is a little bit better. I don't know why I bought a microphone. I just saw Lex had a microphone, and I couldn't let him, do me like that. So I went and I got myself one. So here I am with a new microphone.
Nice. And it looks beautiful, and it sounds beautiful.
I hope it does. I hope it's like little angels singing in your ear. But
like little cholos named Angel singing in your ear.
Oh man. So,
what was that Baby Bash song? With Frankie J. It's like sugar, sugar, how you get so fly. There's a couple people named Angel singing that in your ear.
Man.
One time. Watch next week. Brian's gonna come with like a 3-foot like microphone.
I'm hoping Bryan gets the hint and he'll get himself a microphone.
We're trying to tell him something.
We're just tired of Bryan. Him and I, we kind of go off, or he uses his Beats, but his Beats have the little microphone on the side, and it rubs against his collars.
That's right.
Bryan likes to wear collared shirts.
Yeah.
And it usually like rubs against it. So I was like,
it rubs against the Riff Raff autograph on his undershirt. So, man, for those who don't know, like, okay, so one time Bryan and I, shouts out to Young Baka, he got us into a Riff Raff.
Hold on. It wasn't just you and Bryan.
It was you and Beard, right?
Yes,
yeah.
Mike,
Oh wow,
Mike. Yeah, shout out to Mike, huh?
Yeah, shouts out to Mike. Beard.
Too easy,
Steven,
bro. Too easy,
bro. Beard, Steven, myself, and Bryan. Baka got us all into a Riff Raff show once.
Shout out to Baka too.
Yeah, shouts out to Young Baka, brand split days. And so I think afterwards Riff Raff had like what are those things called, meet and greets?
Right, yeah.
There's like a big old line, and we were like, hey Baka, can we just get at the front of the line real quick? He's like, yeah, sure. And he got Bryan and I at the front of the line. And so what Bryan wanted originally, he wanted Riff Raff to sign his chest, right? Shine his chest. He's just like, but and I guess when he asked Riff Raff to sign his chest, he was just like, I'll sign your shirt. And then Bryan's like,
we have video of that, by the way.
Yes. Oh, we gotta find it. We gotta post it on the.
I have video. That is gonna be the thumbnail for this episode. Is Bryan getting his shirt signed by Riff Raff, and the story gets better because, so Bryan gets his shirt signed by Riff Raff. It's an undershirt too.
Yeah.
It's a white undershirt with cut off sleeves that he wears all the time, and I would say maybe like 2 or 3 months later, we go to San Diego for an NXT show, and Bryan wakes up, right? He's sleeping with like this cutoff shirt on, and he wakes up, he sits up from the bed, his hair is all messed up, and we look at his shirt, and it's the Riff Raff shirt, and that's the first sighting of the Riff Raff shirt. Yeah. Then a few months later, when we go to Bakersfield, he has the same Riff Raff shirt on. Yeah. And then there's a couple instances in between those where he has his button-up shirt a little low, not buttoned all the way up, and you can see the signature of Riff Raff under there. So it's a hot commodity for Bryan.
Yeah.
Signed Riff Raff shirt. So
that's when we started realizing that, oh wait, he still uses this as an undershirt.
Yeah,
which which is awesome. Never change, Bryan. Never change. Yeah. I mean, change out of the undershirt every now and then, but just never change your personality.
Seriously.
But yes, so we miss you. Come back, free Bryan. So let's start off right off the bat with the quizzes. Let's review some of these. So for this week, we posted some quizzes to the fourth mic answering about the hosts here. And let's just get right into them. So the first one, I just realized I had to zoom into these screenshots because I didn't post the actual questions. Okay, so who is the biggest fan of wrestling? Is it either of us three or none of the above? And this one was like the almost landslide one, and everyone basically knew it was Bryan. So yeah, there was like 11 plus people for Bryan. A couple people voted Steven. One person voted me. A couple people voted none of the above. But yeah, it was like 11 plus people, and I think that's kind of obvious. Bryan, my favorite thing about Bryan and wrestling is that we could be talking about anything, right? But as soon as like anyone, even if we're out in public, like eating, for example, as soon as anyone brings up like, oh, hey, what do you think of Monday Night Raw? Bryan, like you just see that flicker in his eye, right? Like so something like lights up in his eye, and Bryan just literally like goes off for like minutes at a time. Like he could go off on wrestling for like 10 to 20 minutes, and it's a beautiful thing.
The worst thing though about that is that Bryan will make you feel stupid if you don't know anything about wrestling.
Yeah, he's smart, man. He knows his stuff. Yeah, that's right.
And
that's right.
Okay, I get it, Bryan. Like you know a lot about wrestling, but like don't make me feel like shit because I don't have the time to watch wrestling every day. You know, I'm sorry.
Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, because so Steven and I, we keep up actually, but
I mean, I'm an avid watcher. I watch every once in a while. We do pay-per-views. You know, we go to your house, we watch pay-per-views.
Yeah. But we keep up through the Instagram.
Right. I'm not one to go on Bleacher Report or on the internet and do some research on all this stuff because like I don't have time. Like I got a lot going on in my life right now. So
I see what you're saying. Yeah, he even gets on me about that as far as the Instagram, because Steven and I, we actually like to keep up on the Instagram, whereas Bryan, he doesn't follow WW on Instagram because like it's spoilers for him. Like he has to watch it like live, and but yeah, you know, like during a busy schedule, sometimes the Instagram helps. But
and that's why we have Bryan as a friend, because he can just explain everything to us.
That's true, though. Yeah, if we ever have questions, he just, like I'm telling you, man, he gets into like a solo podcast of wrestling.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like give and take. Like, I guess he can call stupid as long as he, you know, updates us on all the news.
Yeah, it's
so
a gift and a curse.
I can. Yeah, it's a little bit of push and pull. So
this is the F Bryan episode when he's not here.
Hey, knock him while he's down.
Go for the leg. That's like one of my favorite moments as you and Bryan as a coach, you guys were holding like a practice one day, right? And you guys were drilling your kids or going up back and forth, and it was like one of those practices where not all the kids showed up, so you and Bryan had to step in and be on opposing teams as you guys were running scrimmages together. And there's one game where your little brother, I guess like he came down hard or something, right? And his ankle started hurting. He's like, oh man, he started limping, and it was still mid game. So like since Steven was on the opposing team, he was like, go for the leg. And I was like, that's hilarious, dude.
We're very competitive.
It's that winner's mentality. But yeah, so that was the first quiz. I think everyone knew it was a landslide for Bryan. But so the second quiz, the question we posted was,
after this month, how old will we all be?
Mm-hmm.
And that one everybody knew. So
yeah, we posed ranging ages of 29, 22. 38.
Whoever chose 22, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
It was literally 16 people chose correctly, which is 29. We're all going to be 29. And one person chose 22.
I hope the person that chose 22, I hope you have a great week.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not going to lie, that I think that made us all feel good. So made us feel a little younger inside. So thank you. You're the real MVP. We start crying. And then so that was actually probably a bigger landslide actually than the Bryan one. So the third quiz we have, the question read, who is single? And you know, I think the voters are probably going to get some of us in trouble because not all of us are single. And so it was Bryan, Steven, Lex, and all of the above were the options. So 10 people chose me, and that is correct. Single status over here, not by choice. And so 0 people chose Bryan.
Dang, 10 people, 10 plus people said that you're single.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know if that should be like a
compliment
or if they're just straight up like, this guy they saw the lost episode.
They looked at our pictures like, oh, that guy's definitely single. And two people voted Steven, which hey man, I think they're trying to get you stabbed, fam, because
I appreciate the compliment.
Man, you know what? Steven's actually coming out the winner out of all these quizzes, man. It's all these types of compliments your way. And 5 people actually chose all of the above. That's a lot of people to say that all 3 of us are single. I guess those people were like, okay, they all are single. There's no way these nerds are bagging anything.
How are these? Yeah. Are you guys bagging anything? I've seen your podcast.
I know, yeah. We've watched an episode or 2 before. You guys are all single. And the final question is, who has a child on the way? And this was the options, obviously, Lex, Bryan, Steven, or none of the above. And this one was interesting too, because I got 0 votes again. Now I'm feeling a little offended.
Well, you're single. It makes sense. The correlation is right on track.
True.
Because
that's true. 10 for single, 0
for single, 0 for your child. That totally makes sense.
You're right. So we're on the right track. Yeah. Okay, so 2 people said Bryan. So I think maybe Bryan's not telling us something. Maybe that's why he called off sick.
Maybe
Brian's
that's
pregnant.
why he called off sick. Oh man, come on.
Brian's like, hey, I got morning sickness, dog.
Oh, hey, that shit's no joke, man.
I know. Oh, you're right, my bad. Dang, I know.
I have morning sickness. Oh
man. Steven's feet ache. Feek. So
I'm
then
on
12. Yeah, I'm on fleek.
Oh.
So 12 did vote Steven, which is the correct answer, and then 2 voted none of the above. So 2 people don't watch the podcast.
I'm just a dad.
You're just yeah.
I think my opinions and my way I present myself in the past couple of episodes, I'm really coming off dad-like.
Yeah, your persona is dad in general. So
very dad. So
I think they respect it, and
I think it's time for me to get the New Balances out.
Yeah. Oh man, dude, your outfit, man. How's that gonna change? Are you ready for that?
I already got my phone clip. I'm ready to clip it on, so I'm good to go.
Dude, you're basically gonna start dressing like my brother Eric. So Seriously. Like for those of you guys who don't know, my brother Eric, he is just the stereotypical dad attire from like head to toe. He's got like the Oakleys, the foam clip.
Yeah, stereotypical conservative dad.
Yeah, and he's got like the New Balances, a new pair for every day of the week. You know, it's. I think it's gonna be. I think that might be the new outfit, man. What do you think?
One of my favorite moments of Eric is he like bought new Jordans, and I mean they weren't even the good Jordans.
Yeah,
you know, I couldn't even tell you what Jordans they were because they weren't part of the numbered line. You know, like
they were Fordens.
So he was super excited and he like showed me. He got the box. He's like, check these out. And,
needless to say,
that was his first pair of Jordans in like 10 years. So.
Yeah. It was a special day for him. But so.
But the whole time he was telling me he had his phone clip and.
Jordans with the phone clip, short shorts, Oakleys. He had the whole works, man. But yeah, if you want to get people presents so that you don't look like a dad, to any of our listeners, go to Vital Pomona, which is now open. Vital Pomona. We believe everyone has a gift. Some just need help finding it. You could go to www.vitalpomona.com or visit Vital Pomona on Instagram @VitalPomona. They are located at 266 West 2nd Street, Pomona, California, right in downtown Pomona. Super dope shop. They just had their grand opening this past weekend, and it was awesome, man. There's a lot of cool like little gifts there too, and I actually I had to make sure I copped that young Vital Pomona shirt right away. Says happiness is vital. So this is super fresh. It even came with like a bag and everything, man. So man.
Did you have to pay 10 cents for that bag?
Yeah, it was a 10-cent charge. I'm just kidding. Actually, surprisingly, no. So the bags are actually really dope, and there was no 10-cent charge. I even have the receipt here. But yeah. So shouts out to Vital Pomona. I'll probably stop by there soon and well, not soon. Yeah. Follow us back, please. But yeah, I'm probably gonna get like a Forever Rose from there. Those are freaking dope. It's like a steel rose, But I guess I can only get one when I finally lock a date in. So we'll see when that is. Hashtag single. All right. So let's get into these. What's next, Steven? What's next on the list? I noticed you're like the most organized one out of all three of us, actually, for these
I'm a
podcasts.
dad,
I'm
so
like, yeah.
you gotta be organized.
You're a natural.
So we're gonna get into your guys' questions, which
The fourth mic.
again, I think they're gonna be very fun to go through.
Yeah. Man, so the first few were I think they were sent in as like recommended quiz responses, but we
Right.
figured might as well just talk about them on here because there were some pretty good
we're
ones.
a man down. Yeah, we're a man down today, and so
Yeah.
we figured we can just talk about these instead of doing a poll.
We need content.
We
yeah,
need
so
Bryan.
we need Bryan. We just start crying.
Yeah.
Bryan, baby, come back.
Not only that, but like Lex. Okay, we tried to get a fill-in.
Mhm.
I'm gonna put him on blast right now because he's an avid listener, and I think this will.
And he's
open
actually
his
part
eyes.
of the Ash Podcast Network with the MMA Bro podcast.
And he's part of the channel, yeah. And so Lex reached out to him, and our podcasts are fairly short, no more than 45 minutes minus, that last episode where we got a little crazy, but
man, we got wild.
But yeah, they're 30, 45 minutes long. And so he gave the excuse of, and these are the same. I would get it if he had different excuses every time we asked him to do something, but he has the same excuse over and over again. The same reason why he couldn't go to Vegas, the same reason why he doesn't get on Fortnite, same reason why he didn't want to fill in for Bryan, because he has homework, because he has a group project.
Oh man, both y'all wild, fam. It's the same group project from Vegas.
Because he has to study. My guy, you graduated, didn't you? Oh, wait. Oh, shoot. Let's not get into that one. I already went off on my tangent about that. So,
I think on record we've officially had like at least 3 episodes where Steven's gone on a full tangent on Jesse and the late graduation thing, or the early graduation, I should say.
But Kanye with that late graduation, it's late registration. Dang,
late registration,
I killed that one. I'm a real dad right now.
Yeah.
So let's get into these questions.
So, first topic to kind of discuss, more of a question from the fourth mic DM: who lifts the least amount of weight? So Steven and I are avid gym goers, and
somewhat, yeah.
Yeah, and clearly by a long shot, Steven definitely lifts the most amount of weight. Now this guy right here, he's a strong fella. Let me tell you. So.
I try. I couldn't hold up those 150 kettlebells for more than a minute, though.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Hey, but that was after a couple nights of drinking, so
that's true. I
wasn't in my full Hulk mode,
full form. Yeah, not bad. So Steven's definitely the strongest out of us three. But so normally with an avid gym goer, Bryan will definitely lift more than me, and so I would have to say I lift the least amount of weight. But as Steven and I were discussing in the pre-show, and by the way, I don't think we ever explained the pre-show. We don't record it yet. We'll probably start recording it soon. But the pre-show is basically we actually get on. It's like a pre-game, I guess, before the podcast, and we literally just kind of same thing like this with the cameras and everything. We talk. We have our mics already on.
It's our pre-production meeting.
Yeah,
it's basically where we go over all of the things. In the order that we want to discuss them.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously when we get into the real show, Lex and Bryan like to
we literally
take shortcuts
every single time. Yeah,
they never follow the freaking schedule.
We literally, and I'm super guilty of this. I think I'm probably the worst, is like we literally even like set things like, hey, let's not talk about this, right? And as soon as the record button's on, it's like, hey, by the way, I know we said we wouldn't talk about this, and then we just like run right past it every time. So I think we'll start recording the pre-shows pretty soon, and then maybe release some clips on Instagram or some extra content every now and then. But
by the way, I'm working on that clip of Lex.
The highlight
every time that he goes away from the microphone to cough or to take a sip of his coffee or whatever it is that he does.
And you know what? I've done it twice so far this episode, and I'm trying my hardest not to, and I could feel it in my throat already. But yeah, so. Who lifts the least amount of weight? Like I was saying. So in the pre-show, we were saying, but usually when Bryan doesn't go to the gym, and I know he just started going back to the gym like last week or something like that, he even admits maybe it's just him being nice. No, actually, I know it's him being nice. He always says like, oh no, Lift Lift definitely Lexes more than me right now. Lex definitely lifts more than me right now. But I'm a firm believer that, dude, Bryan's strong, man. So like if we had like a 1 rep max between him and I like today, he would definitely outlift me. So I would have to say I lift the least amount of weight right now. So I'm getting there little by little, just trying to progress.
I think we should do maybe like a lift together. We should all like
for the podcast, yeah.
Okay, Bryan recently started going back to the gym, which is I think it's good. It's
yes.
good.
Oh,
it's
wait,
good.
it's good. You want to explain your theory? Okay,
I'm not gonna explain. It's not a theory, and it's
okay.
just the way I feel sometimes.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna get into it because
okay.
it's too controversial.
We'll save that for later.
We'll save it for another episode.
Another day. Yeah. Man, just know Steven's wild, fam. But
I'm not wild. I don't know.
But yeah. So I definitely lift the least amount of weight, I would say, unfortunately. Next question, fourth mic. Who's more likely to be a stepfather? Oh, this is bad. So the answer is going to be the same 2 questions in a row.
So we're just picking up where we left off last week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would agree that it's weird, and I don't know if it's because it's the Pokemon shirts that really attract like that stepdad vibe.
Yeah.
Or I don't know what it is. It just Lex has that, or the mustache. It could be the mustache.
Yeah, it's just, I have like a stepdad like vibe or stepdad face.
Yeah.
Dude, oh gosh. Okay, so these guys, right? There's a reason why this is the first time I've worn this shirt for the first time in like literally 3 months. So there was like a phase where I did wear this shirt a lot, right? And like not only that, I have like at least one more like tank top that every now and then I wear to the gym, and it has a Pikachu on it too. And there was like a phase where Bryan and Steven would they would take like random photos I would post throughout the days and Photoshop a Pikachu over whatever shirt I was wearing. So it could be like a Cal Poly shirt, but then they'll Photoshop Pikachu over the Cal Poly logo.
There was a time where Lex would wear a Pikachu shirt or just a Pokemon shirt in general, and a Cal Poly hat, and it was the same Cal Poly hat. And so
the same gray one every time.
Yeah, you would see him in that coupled all the time. That Pikachu. So he would wear the Pikachu shirt, and he would have the Cal Poly hat on.
Yeah, that's true.
It was like it lasted about a month. It was a month phase, and I think the way that we were able to get him to finally change the theme there was by photoshopping Pikachu on every other shirt. Pictures, on other pictures,
So we'll have to post some of those pictures too, starting this week too for this episode. But I mean, I guess that was an easy question. Yeah, I would probably most likely to be a stepfather.
I don't see I don't see Bryan being a stepdad.
I don't.
As much as he's open to the idea, and I'm not trying to talk for Bryan, but
knowing his personality, like
knowing him, I don't see him being a stepdad or like being exactly. Like I think once he finds out, he might kind of shy away or make an excuse or something.
It might be like a deterrent for him. But
I'll give you guys a quick story.
Okay.
About stepdads and how close I was to being a stepdad.
Oh, let's hear it.
So this is before I met my wife. Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
Obviously, right?
Obviously. Yeah.
So
we're all like, this was like three months ago. I was
like, me and a friend, and I won't say his name. Mm-hmm. He's a good friend.
It wasn't Bryan and I though.
No, it was not you guys. So like, I broke up with my ex-girlfriend. Obviously, I was a little bit sad. Honestly, I was a beep. So looking back at it, I was like, come on, guy. But anyways, so, my friend, we started hanging out more and going out every weekend. And I think I was like 19. So I was pretty young, 18 or 19. And he worked at this tutoring spot, right? And so I guess one of the girls there was gonna have a Halloween party. And so like this is obviously I'm not 21, so
Yeah.
I'm getting trashed from the cheap liquor, whatever we can get our hands
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
Oh, Mad Dogs, Mad
Oh,
Dogs.
MD 2020.
Yes, dude. So
That's good,
I'm
fam.
getting drunk off of Mad Dog. This is when I actually drank Four Loco too.
Oh my God, dude.
And so
Your
like
credit score must have been horrible back then, fam.
I got trashed, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Before we go to the Halloween party. And so like we go to the Halloween party and um I'm just there to have a good time,
Mm-hmm.
I'm having a good time, I'm making friends, I'm just being me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm pretty social when I get drunk. Not that I'm not social when I'm not, but like I think I get a little too comfortable.
Yeah, yeah. Like real smiley.
Not that Donald Trump comfortable, but like just that I just like to joke around and
That
have a
DC
good
comfort.
conversation. And so anyways, so there's this very, very attractive girl. She's dressed as Snow White, right?
Mhm.
And so like I look at my friend, I said, "Hey, this is I'm gonna get that. I'm getting her, right?"
Mm-hmm.
And so like
You kidnapped her?
dude, I was super drunk. I don't know how like the universe possessed me and they said you deserve this W, Steven.
Yeah, yeah.
And so like I was able to get her phone number, right?
Uh-huh.
And so I hang out with her twice, right? Once we go on like this little date, and then the second time, same thing, we go out, and then we're kind of like, I think we were in the car. We're sitting there in the car, and she's talking about like what she did that day. It was like a Saturday.
Yeah.
And then she said, "Yeah, I went to my son's soccer game."
Yeah.
And I was so fucked up at the party. Like, I guess she told me that she had a kid, right?
Yeah.
I don't even remember that, right? So like, it's like, can you imagine going on a date with somebody twice, 2 dates?
Yeah, yeah.
And on the second date, like they throw this bombshell at you of, "Hey, I was at my kid's soccer game today," right? And me, I'm very strong opinion about that, and like I don't want anything to do with that.
And on
And so
top of
like,
that, you were young, dude. You were like 19.
yes. And so I'm like, she was like 26, I was like 19.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh, yeah, she was around like 25, 26.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, I'm like, oh fudge,
It's crazy.
like what the hell am I getting myself into, right?
Yeah.
And to make it even better, she's like, yeah, like it's sometimes it's hard to go to my son's soccer games because then my daughter's like really crazy. Boom, 2 freaking kids, dude.
Dang,
I
dude.
find out about 2 kids on the second date, and that was the last time I ever talked to her.
Oh man, you got that 2-for-1 special or what?
After the end of that date, I think I texted her maybe one more time,
Mm-hmm.
and then we kind of just fell off.
Yeah.
So that's my story about how I was really close to being a stepdad.
Damn. That's wild, fam. Dude, that's 2 kids
2
at
kids
19.
and 19.
Well,
Can
you being
imagine,
19.
dude?
You know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
crazy, man.
I hope that story entertained you guys.
It entertained me.
I have some good ones.
It interchanged me. What I said. But yeah, damn. All right, let's see. So I think we have. Let's get into one more, and then let's get into our final ad, and then we'll end it off with the last 2 questions. This next one's a hot topic going on in the world today. Kind of a crazy one. So, fourth mic question: what's your opinion on LeBron and the China democracy issue?
Dang, you wanted to hit this one now, huh?
Might as well, man. Might as well. Dude, yeah, this is a rough one, man, because like I was hearing like, I mean, obviously the Hong Kong protests have been going on for quite a while now, and
So just a backstory real quick on Hong
yeah.
Kong. Just because I looked this up. That way we're
Yeah.
all kind of on the same page.
Mhm.
So Hong Kong was a British territory until 1997. And then it was given back to China. So the mainland is what they call it. Given back to China in 97. And it kind of runs on its own government. Like it's different. It's not the communist government that the mainland China goes off of.
Mhm.
And so like the big issue is that like the protesters or people are basically being treated from the laws of the mainland in Hong Kong when it's not the same like the same governing body, the same democracy. It's not a democracy because China's communist, I believe.
Yes.
And so
No, yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that's exactly it. And so yeah, there's been protests. And
pretty much China is fucked up.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now,
it's been pretty crazy.
Well, Hong Kong, not China.
Yeah,
China.
China. That was like the
Jobs
worst
are
Donald
going
Trump
to
impression ever.
China. When I
just
hear
sound like a
China,
sick.
I think of China. God bless her soul. I think of China from wrestling.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Shouts out to China, the ninth wonder of the world.
Dude, yeah.
Dang, dude, man. Oh
There's,
man, I just thought of some inappropriate stuff because
dude, that's what I was
her
thinking the same thing
her
right
final
now.
stage of her career. But no, rest in peace, R.I.P.
Dude, hey,
I can't stand up for at least 3 minutes now.
I'm gonna be I'm gonna
Gotta
be a
cover
little
up.
controversial, and
No.
I
She did good work in wrestling and all her careers. But anyways, R.I.P. China. But anyways, yeah, it's. Dude, how are we gonna be able to bring it back to the democracy issue now?
okay. So back to democracy.
Okay, all right.
Democracy. Okay.
Bryan, we miss you.
That's what I'm saying.
So
Bryan is what keeps us on track.
that's true. Yeah.
So
That's true. Bryan.
So democracy.
Okay, so democracy.
So the question is it's a little more detailed. It's what's your opinion on LeBron and the China democracy issue? I think what he meant was, if he wasn't busy doing group projects and homework, is like, what's our opinion on LeBron's opinion of the general manager's opinion of China?
Exactly.
So it's an opinion to like the fourth power. Basically, I think LeBron didn't explain himself enough. The way he came off, it sounded basically like this dude don't know nothing. He doesn't know what the real issue is. He doesn't know what the real issue is in China, and he shouldn't be saying anything.
Yeah.
Put some respect on my name,
Yeah. Basically, that's all it was. I mean, yeah, because at the end of the day, I think like the real topic is basically,
what sucks.
China's its own country and culture. Like they do things. Even though like the American system is like is messed up too. I can't say a little. It's messed up too. The Chinese system, communism, that's messed up in its own ways. And it's just two different cultures, and it sucks because like every time someone takes that argument, they sound like they're in it for the money. Like, oh, like the NBA is making a lot of money off of this China deal.
It ultimately comes down to money.
Yeah, and it sucks because like from the American point of view, like let Hong Kong have their human rights, but it's their rights that we as Americans feel are basic human rights. You know what I mean? Whereas
it's funny because as Americans, we feel like freedom and voting and democracy is like an American thing. But there's a lot of countries,
and
that have democracies.
And someone mentioned,
I'm just throwing that out there. I'm not anti-American or anything.
No, obviously.
Don't
and someone earlier,
down,
I know, yeah. Cancel Steven. Steven gets canceled after the first season.
It's basically the money.
Yeah.
If the NBA made $0 off of China, they wouldn't care what anybody says about China.
Yeah, and they would probably
because they're losing
with Hong Kong.
Yeah, because they're losing money. Because these games aren't being broadcasted or the advertisements or whatever are being pulled. Like then it becomes an issue because they're losing money. So I mean.
Yeah, it's a trick.
Not my country, not my problem. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, please. Okay, real quick, disclaimer.
Yeah, go for it.
Because like I'm starting to evolve as the show goes on. Me as a person. Number one, this show is to have a good time.
We're literally hanging out.
We like awkwardness.
Yeah.
We like to just kind of crack jokes, not be too serious. Life is already serious as it is. And so it's a nice little, 45 minutes that we get to kind of step away from all the seriousness and come together as a group of friends, because we want to be your friend. And so we come together as a group of friends and we joke around. And so, if I say like a joke that offends you, well, I'm sorry, life's a bitch and then you die. So, we're just here to have a good time. I mean, obviously we know there's a line that we shouldn't cross. So, I mean, have a good time with us.
Man.
Right?
Dude, Steven, you basically summed up the Awkward Side Hug podcast. And,
I just don't want people to take things too serious. Like, Like, it's not
Yeah.
serious, you know?
It's been a past few years of taking a lot of things seriously in America, especially in the world, in social media, all that stuff. But where can you also have fun and get a good bite to eat, Steven?
I have to be Bryan today, by the way. So I'm
A
not
pillow falls
prepared.
on you right now.
I'm not prepared right now.
No worries. Whenever you're
So should I do this in the Bryan voice or
ready. Yeah.
no? Ike Sandwiches, sandwiches that will change your outlook on life, because we're that good. 500 amazing options: vegetarian, meat, vegan for you vegans, gluten free. We got you. www.loveandsandwiches.com. My favorite's the Matt Cain.
You're reading off of the Bryan script right now?
I had to read off the Bryan script. Honestly, like, I like Ike Sandwiches. Obviously, I'm not as much of a lover as Bryan is.
Mhm.
What is it? The Menage a Trois?
Yeah. Number
That
111.
one, yes, that one is good. That one is
Yeah.
good. I like that one.
Yeah.
And there's another one, a roast beef one.
Oh yeah. I
I
haven't
like
tried that
roast
one.
beef.
I like the 111. That's my favorite.
There's a video on YouTube of I think it's a little girl, and she's like, I smell like roast beef, or I like beef.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to find the link. We'll have to
Yeah.
put it on the YouTube
We'll post it.
description.
Oh
So
man, that's hilarious. Oh, I did go out of order. My bad. So let's go next to the next topic.
so
Ghosts.
real quick, just to finish up on democracy,
Oh yeah, go for it.
or just the NBA. I don't know if Jesse was looking for me to lash out at the NBA.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the way Adam Silver handled it was really, really professional. You know, he said that they have the freedom of speech. What's funny is he says all this, right? Basically, you know, he has the right to freedom of speech in his opinion and blah, blah, blah. And that's not the NBA's view
Yeah.
and whatever. And then like a day later, two people with Free Hong Kong signs in America, in an American arena, get kicked out for having those signs.
Ooh.
So it's kind of like we're for freedom of speech, but not in our arenas.
Yeah. It's such a tricky situation because, like, again, like if you even like start looking at it from the business and standpoint and the connections that the NBA has and all that, like you automatically get attacked as if like, oh, you don't support basic human rights, you know. But it's crazy because it's America and it's China. It's two different cultures, and it's just so hard. China. It's so hard to. Yeah, it's a tricky one, man. It's a tricky one. But this is
But I like Panda Express, so I mean, I ain't
Is
gonna
that
hate
even
on that.
that's Japanese? That's Chinese
that's
food.
Chinese
It is Chinese
food,
food.
dude.
Right. Okay.
You're gonna try to roast me.
My
and it's
bad.
Chinese food?
I know.
Come on, guy.
I was about to. Man.
Go cough off the microphone.
Yeah. Damn, dude. Steven's winning this podcast today. So next, almost wrapping it up. Next, fourth mic question. This is a good one. Do ghosts exist? What do you think, Steven?
Depends. What is a ghost?
Good question.
So, I mean, if you're religious, obviously you look at a ghost as a spirit. You know, it all depends on your point of view. The afterlife. Obviously, I'm not going to get too into it.
Yeah.
About that side of it, but do ghosts exist? I think that's a tough one. I think they exist to some people and they don't exist to others.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is it's all in your experience.
Yeah.
If you have an experience where you feel like you've seen a ghost, then you're going to like be super adamant that ghosts are real. Mm-hmm. And if you live your whole life without having an experience, like a ghost experience, then, you know, you're just going to like ghosts don't exist.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny because like, speaking of, you know, like my brothers would always, like try to scare me, like growing up as a kid, like ghost stories and this and that, and like, oh, be careful here, be careful there, whatever. I was like, no, like I would always hate like hearing anything about ghosts or aliens growing up, right? Because it would do both. Now I actually like the topic of aliens because taking the science class and like everything, like, and how we talked about that episode, like universe is just way too big.
Tell me if you agree with this, but ghost stories, monster stories, alien stories, They always happen in Mexico.
Hmm.
A lot of stuff happens in Mexico.
Mm-hmm. That's
Have
a
you
good
ever heard?
observation.
Have you ever heard about the gnomes?
No.
Or I don't know what they're called. I'm
Now
gonna
I'm
look
getting
it up.
scared.
You continue your story about the ghost, and I'm gonna look this up real quick, and I'll tell you what it is.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, they would always try to scare me just growing up and stuff. So I was like, but yeah, as I get older now, you know, as everyone knows now, we're 29, or we're about to be 29 after this month. Um, I would say no. My answer is no, because any in my this is kind of agreeing more with Steven, because in my experiences, I feel like everything has a scientific explanation or reason, you know, and there's sometimes just scientific reasons behind things that seem like it. For example, right now, if like my pencil just like rolled off my desk and just like fell, I'd be like, oh man, you know, like depends on perspective and depends on the person. Like I know those types of people who would look at that and be like, "Oh my gosh, so what was that?" And they get like instantly like freaked out, right? But but I've started to learn that, you know, I don't know, maybe just there's like a scientific reason for it. It's just hard to explain. But I would say no, because like in another instance, there was this person that I knew who swore up and down about this story that she had a picture with something in the background, and then when she showed me, she showed like another friend or two of mine, and me and my friend, we had the same like reaction to it. We're like, I mean, that could just easily be like a shadow, you know, or like it could easily be something else, but in this person's mind, they swear up and down it was this, you know what I mean? So it really just depends on perspective and what you feel like you've seen in your life. And I think even things like in pictures and stuff like that that were explained to me as such, I feel like everything kind of has some sort of logical or scientific explanation behind it. So that's just my opinion. But
So it's a great view on the ghosts.
mhm.
Um, so the gnomes in Mexico, well, not just Mexico, but like
Yeah.
Spain, Portugal, they're kind of like a Spanish, not Spanish, Latin folklore,
Mhm.
and they're called duendes.
Mhm.
And so, like, supposedly they take children, and
Oh shit.
yeah, and so if you look it up on YouTube, you can kind of get some more background on it.
Yeah.
Or if you're just looking for a scary story, you should look at it.
Wow.
So, yeah,
Never heard of that.
crazy.
That's
Yeah, look
wild.
it up. Well, don't look it up now because
Oh
it's
yeah,
at
yeah,
night
yeah,
and
yeah.
you don't want to get scared. So,
Exactly. Yeah. Just wait till the morning and then look it up. But yeah. So let's get to this final fourth mic question, and it is
there's two more questions, by the way.
two more questions. I skipped one. Oh yeah. Let's go. Okay. Let's get into that first question then.
Go
Oh
for it.
I forgot about that one. Okay. Yeah. So who lost their virginity first? So this is between like Bryan, myself, and Steven. um, and the question or the answer is that guy.
Still a virgin.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. Those high school years were
Dude, wow.
crazy.
See, Steven's an early bloomer.
I was a nerd. I was a
Yeah.
nerd in high school. Looking back at it,
But yeah, but
I
if you
bet you
want to,
everybody feels like they were a nerd except those dudes that weren't nerds.
yeah, that's how it works.
You're gonna have to beep that word out.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah, it would go that order.
Wait, so did
That
Bryan
way,
tell you his age?
yeah. Oh, yeah, I know. Just, but yeah, it's that way, and
Wait.
then,
So did Bryan tell you?
well, it was the same age as me, but it was like 6 months later. That's what it
Oh,
was.
okay.
Yep.
It was you two together. Yeah,
We lost the virginity to
together.
each other. Oh, it's wild. Yeah, basically. So it was we'll just say, you know, high school on the first place finisher here, and then mine, it was 19 years old, and then Brian's was like 6 months after me. So I think his was 19 years old as well.
I'll tell you guys this. I broke the number one, like the rule. I kept my socks on. Oh,
Man, did that like add to the experience, or
I've
like
come a long way since then.
no pun intended? All right, so
Come on.
I know. Man, this show's going off the rails, man. So this is our final episode. We're getting canceled after this one. Brian's like, you guys had one job while I was gone. So yeah, so let's get into this this final one. I think, yeah, that's all of them. Now it's just this last question. Fourth mic from the fourth mic. That's you guys. And what is the last question here, Steven?
What is your favorite movie that's not a superhero movie? So what is your favorite non-superhero movie?
Yes. And yeah, that's actually a good little filter there, because a lot of these Marvel movies are freaking straight up killing it. But yeah, if I had to say, mine's actually Austin Powers of all movies. I'm like,
yeah, baby.
Shall we shag now or shag later? I give him like a different accent. But yeah, I love all those movies. Austin Powers 1, 2, and 3.
Sometimes Lex's English accent gets a little mixed up with like an Arab,
like Irish, Indian. Australians.
Yeah,
it has like 5 different flavors in there.
We had a good experience with an Australian one time. You fucking cunt.
Oh, dude, that's wild, fam.
I would have to say my favorite movie, and I had to really think about this,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just thinking, like, as a child growing up, what I liked, and so I went through this phase where I was really into dinosaurs, and it was around the time Jurassic Park came out, the first one.
Yeah.
And to this day, I'm still amazed by just like that movie, how they brought the dinosaurs to life and they look so real. I would freaking pay to go to Jurassic Park, even though I know I could be eaten. Just dinosaurs are awesome. Like,
yeah,
I guess it's just like knowing that dinosaurs existed, but not being able to see them is like,
yeah,
it's a mystery for the ages.
No, that's a good movie too. That's a classic movie.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch, you did
it. Yeah, basically, right.
Yeah.
If I had to choose a second movie, it might be Kill Bill.
That's a good movie too. That's a classic.
Yeah. And Pulp Fiction is good. I'm not too into the mafia movies. So I mean,
yeah, those are classics too. Oh, but yeah, those were maybe a little before.
Saving Private Ryan is really good. I really like war movies. Man, it's hard to just put it on one, but yeah, I would say Jurassic Park.
15 minutes later, it's like, yeah, I really like Dora the Explorer. I like.
They made a Dora the Explorer movie.
The movie it just came out. Yeah.
Dora, huh?
Yeah. I was at the drive-in recently, and it was like at the screen behind me, but I ended up watching Rambo. And then Rambo, and then the second movie was
Rambo. Did you watch Rambo by yourself or?
No. It was
Man, how did you get them to watch Rambo?
I don't know. Yeah, that's a gory movie,
dude. Not that it's gory, but like, have you seen Sylvester Stallone? Like in the preview, like he just looks messed up.
Oh yeah, he's about to die, man. He almost died in the movie. But
he's old. He's beat up, man.
Yeah, and then like the second, it was like a double feature. I thought we were gonna leave like right after the first movie. We're like, oh, let's stay. So I was like, oh, okay. And like the second feature was like Angel Has Fallen or something like that, and that was actually a pretty good movie.
That's a good movie. Yeah,
it was a good
have
movie.
You seen the first one? Like
no,
the first two?
I didn't even know that was a sequel.
They're good. That's like the third one.
Oh, trilogy, nice.
Yeah, but I think there's like Olympus Has Fallen, London or something has fallen or something as well. Yeah, and then there's that one.
Yeah. No, yeah, it was a good movie. And then and then my battery died, and then I had to jump it. And then that led to a bunch of problems that weekend. But
it was that weekend.
It was that weekend, yeah. That's my battery died. Midterm weekend, yep.
I don't feel bad now that you told me like the main part of the story.
Yeah.
You were at the movies. I thought you were just like doing, God's word and.
Oh no, yeah. I was going to Bible study, but yeah, I mean that's that looks like it's all of them. I think we hit the list. Went through all the quizzes.
I'm sorry, I have the I have the gnomes, like a picture of the gnomes, and it's pretty scary. And I left it on my screen here. I have a split screen, right? Because I have I have you guys here in the video, and then I have like my research side here,
Yeah.
and yeah, they're just staring right back at me, and it's starting to scare me. So.
Yeah.
It's very scary.
You just stay up all night with Bryan?
Brian's actually over here on the couch in front of me right now. So,
oh man,
I'm taking care of him.
yeah.
He's losing his virginity.
He's wrapped up in a blanket with like
he's
a thermometer.
He's losing his virginity again tonight.
He has like a thermometer sticking out of his his mouth, like a wet towel on his forehead. Oh man, dang dude, you're singing him lullabies, but
we
but
miss
yeah.
you, Brian.
Yeah, we miss you. Awkward.
I hope you guys like the mic because I like it.
Good mic. Here, I'll click stop. I think that was a good end right there. Let's see.